Hello, I'm Micks Mowers and Mower and welcome to my channel. In today's video, has your cable just snapped on your cylinder mower, whether it be an Allett or an Atco Balmoral? Then this could be the video for you. Keep watching. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to change either one of your drive or your cylinder cables if they have snapped or if they are corroded and you want to change them out. It's really, really simple to do, and you can buy the parts online at no big additional cost, and you can do it yourself. It's really easy. If this is your first time in watching Micks Mowers and Mower, hit the subscribe button and whack the old bell. Set notifications to all. That way you'll be told next time I upload a video. So without further ado, let's get down dirty. Let's get this cables changed on this Allett Kensington. Okay, with the Allett Kensington now around the other side, I have removed the spark plug HT lead just for safety because we're going to be working on this machine, and the last thing you want is the machine to fire up by accident and you'll be missing fingers. So make sure you do take the HT lead off of the spark plug. Undo the 4 bolts that are attaching the side inspection panel with an Allen key. Just loosen them off, take the side cover off, tip it up the normal way, and then put that to one side. With that now done, we'll get a bit closer and we'll follow the process through. Okay, so first of all, we're going to be removing the drive cable on this Allett Kensington 20 machine. Now, the cable you want for this will be the A58035. That's the Allett number for it. And all you want to do, let's just say the cable is snapped either this end or the other end. It's sort of irrelevant, okay? But what you want to do is loosen off with a 10mm spanner. Just loosen this nut off, okay? With that being loose, then tighten the cable in. And by tightening the cable in, will form slack on that pulley. That pulley will start to move down, okay? With that all the way in, you see how much play we now have in this cable, see? We can now have, we've got 2 choices. We can either move it from the far end, up the top of a handle, or we can actually remove it from the bottom end. Okay, so the easiest way to remove this, I find, is to do it on this end, not the other end. So all I do is I just get hold of this pulley, push it all the way forward, and then just slide this little tiny clip off of the spring. Now you do need like 15 fingers, okay, but just take your time. Once you get it so far, it will just come off just like so. Don't lose that little tiny spring, and don't lose this little tiny clip. That little clip just comes off by turning it all the way around, and it'll feed off. Now that clip will only go on one way, okay? This end is for the cable where it goes in, and then it transverses round to this side to hold it in place, and then the spring sits on this wider part just here, okay? Let's move on to the next step. So with that little tiny clip now removed, you can now literally just retract this cable out of its housing and come all the way out, just like so. All we then have to do is detach it from the top end. Okay, so now we're up on the top handle, and this is the drive one, okay? The other side is pretty much the same. There's not a lot of difference in it, okay? Once that cable's now been removed from the bottom side, all you then want to do is just engage your drive, and then just grab hold of this little tiny lead bung, for another word, and just tease it out. Now be very careful, because these little tiny red clips, they do like to break. Once that's come off, just take it out the bottom, and then round this side here, you'll find there's a little tiny sort of a brass threaded bushing. And all you want to do is this will just unscrew from its housing. That unscrews, and out comes the cable. And when you buy the new cable, it will come with all the bits that you need, okay? So to replace a cable, it's exactly the same, but just in reverse. Just put your cable in, and then screw this little tiny brass housing up. Do that before you connect anything up, okay? And just well snug that. Now, if your cable does need a bit of adjustment, you can adjust it this end. There's a little bit of adjustment there to be had. Once you have that done, you can then sneak it around this side, and it has to sit just inside this red plastic bit. Let me show you. So around this side, there's a little tiny groove, okay? Now, this cable has to sit up inside the groove. Once it sits up inside the groove, you can then just push that cable down into position, like so, and then give it a little tiny push, and it sits in where it needs to be. Simple as that. Okay, with the cable now attached up the top end, all we're going to do now is feed this cable down through, in through its sheath. In it goes, all the way in, and well seat it, okay? And that's that cable now installed. All we then have to do is just put this little tiny clip on. Now remember what I said to you. This little tiny clip, it's got a slightly wider part at the bottom than it has compared to the other end. Now that wider part, that has to sit on the cable first. So wider little tiny slot just here, where it's a bit wider. That just goes, the cable goes through there. Just grab hold of that cable. Lovely. Grab hold of it, and then put that little tiny wide part through. Once it's gone through, you then tip it up over on itself and over. It then goes behind the belt, just like so. Now this is the hardest bit of the whole entire operation. Is you've got to grab hold of this spring, and you've then got to fit that spring back onto that clip. It's not easily done, but we can do it. There's a bit of patience is all that is required, and the ability not to drop anything. You can use needle nose pliers. I don't normally. Pull it in, slide it in, and done. Once that's in place, you can then have to adjust your cable back by adjusting roughly back to where it was. And don't forget, if your cable is new now, you may not need to go quite in so far. So just check your belt tension as your pulley comes up. Just check your tension. And you don't want it rubbing. You want to be able to roll the machine forwards and backwards. Yeah, see how that's moving forwards and backwards? So that is roughly the right area. If you go too tight, then what happens is this belt becomes too tight on the pulley and you can't push the machine when the machine is turned off, okay? Run up your little tiny 10mm nut, get your 8mm, hold that on place, and just do your 10mm nut up. Just for job. Fully rotates forwards and backwards. Once that's done, all you then have to do is pick up your side inspection cover, fit that back onto your machine, tap, 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 do up your 4 bolts, and you're golden. Okay, so there you go. That's how you change your broken or seized cable, especially on the drive side. Now, the cylinder side is slightly different, okay, but there's not a lot of difference in it. And the process is pretty much the same. All you have to do is just whatever is in the way beforehand, just make sure it's in the way when you put it back. So if you're not sure, stop, take photographs, log it, make a detail or whatever. And then when you go put it back together, if it's not going quite right, you can refer back to your photograph on your phone or your iPad, and you're golden. As I say, the cylinder mower does have some similarities and a few differences, but it's not rocket science. We can rebuild it. It's as simple as that. You can do this sort of little change in around about 5-10 minutes, and you can be up and running and golden, laying down those nice big crisp lines that we all know and love. If you enjoy sort of video Micks Mowers and Mower Man, hit your subscribe button, whack the old bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be told next time I upload another video. I look forward to seeing an episode of Micks Mowers very, very soon. But until then, guys and girls, much more importantly, take it easy.